Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. It's a brand new week. I thought we'd start the week by doing 2 packs, another marathon build here. This stages 52 to 61 of the Fanhome release of Build the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet. Now, something that became absolutely apparent to me when I went to Barcelona last week is they actually had the finished version of this gauntlet on display. And I think I can speak for everyone that was there. We didn't realise how big this thing actually is. Now, this is just the hand section of it. Let me just put that down gently. But when you add this section to it here, which I have got here, because I haven't attached it yet, and you see how big that is, you can pretty much figure out how big this is. So don't be surprised if the thumbnails for this video tend to be a picture of me next to it, so I can sort of broadcast how big this actually is. Now, I believe we are still working on the fingers here, which is what we've been working on in the last pack. Now, remember, we're doing 2 packs together. If you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen that you can scan, and hopefully you can get this all the way from pack 1 if it is available in your territory. But I'm going to jump straight into it. Without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, let's see how we get on with this. So this is stage 52. Each stage comes with the magazine. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be continuing on with what we've been working on in this finger here, adding the other side of this. So now it's looking just like this. Again, here's the magazine. Let's do this. Now, I could be making all sorts of jokes at the moment about I'm actually doing the middle finger. And today I'm giving you the middle finger. I don't know. I'm going to be clean. I promise. But there is no denying I am actually working on the middle finger today. So what I'm going to be doing first, I'm going to be taking this little section here. It's got a slot at the side, and I'm going to be putting that slot into the side here. So before I actually piece this together, I want to make sure that's firmly pushed in there. It holds itself in there before I put the bracket into the other side. Now, before I put this bracket in, we do have this washer. Now, the washer is going to go into that section there. Hopefully you can see that on the top camera. And then I am now into position to put this in. It's going to go like this. I want to make sure that the slot here is going over the slot there. And being very gentle with this, push that into place. Perfect. I want to make sure that this bit of the metal here is coming through the plastic, just like the other side there. And I do have one of these silver screws, which is screw number 2, just to go into the top hole where that washer was. And there we go, that's in nice and tight. Now we have got this one section of brass left over. We're not actually using it in this stage. So stage 53. Here we go. We're still working on the middle finger, and we have got some internal structure to make again here. So I'm going to make that internal structure, add this to it, and add the detail we just had left over from the last stage. Once this is together, that's going to look like that. And this is the rest of the magazine. Now this chapter's labelled middle finger number 5. So we have now spent 5 stages doing this middle finger. And just like last time, I'm going to be taking the finger, and in this hole at the side here, again, I've got another washer just to put over the top there. Then I'm going to be taking this large section here with a big shaft. The shaft is going to go through that section, and it's going to come out the other side. Now, the brass section we had left from last time is now going to go in, so we need to make sure it goes on top of this section and that this goes underneath into this bit of plastic here. So it's probably best to put that in first like that. So now that's in on that side. Need to make sure it's lined up on the other side as well, because we're about to put the other side in here. Before I do that, I'm going to be putting this piece in here, and it goes in this way so that the tab is holding that section in there. Stop this moving around. That's held in with one of these silver screws. And then exactly like we did in the stage before this, I'm going to be taking this panel. We've got a short lug and a large lug. The short lug's just going to slot into the side and push in like that. All ready for this side to go in, which means, again, putting a washer just over that section, lining this up So it actually goes in this way, and then push this together. That's good. And then once again, one of these screw number 2s to put this into place. We do want to make sure that these metal sections are through the plastic here. And get that in nice and tight. Perfect. So as you can see, the articulation in the fingernails looking like that. But that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 54, here's the magazine. Still working on that middle finger there. So we've got middle finger number 6. We've got these parts here. This is the section that's actually going to link it to the actual palm of the hand. So we're going to be putting this together. So now that's looking like that. And once again, I will give you a quick glimpse of the rest of the magazine. So here's stage 54 here. You do get so many spare screws with this build, so don't worry if you are running out of those silver screws. What I'm going to be taking is these two sections here, which are labelled C25 and C26, and quite simply these are just actually going to go together like this, and they're going to be held in with 2 of these silver screws. So one there. This whole build I'm doing with my PH1 screwdriver. Get a lot of torque on that. Now we are left over with 2 sections here, this brass section and this section here, but that was a very quick one. That's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 55, here's the magazine. And this time we're now working on the middle finger 7, couple of plates here, but we are now going to piece these into these plates. So that's looking like that. Another quick stage. These are all short, sharp stages you're finding to do this finger. Once again, here's the pack. And to start off with, this is going to be fun. I've got to put these black washers here into the indents I've got either side here. Now they kind of sit in, so we've got one that side, but I do want gravity to help me here because they're only just lying in there. As you can see, they're just going to fall out. But when you're happy with how they're sitting, I'm kind of happy with how they're sitting, I've actually got to put what we've just created in here. Now, I want this to be going in this section here with this tab facing upwards. So I want to get this in here without moving those washers. So this is going to be tricky. I'm wondering, can I put this in and then slide the washers down? I'm going to see if that's an option. That's not an option. So, oh, it is. It does work. So you can kind of lift it up and slide them down with those washers on. Let's try that with this side. And then push that down with the whole section. There we go. And the washer does go in with it. That's kind of handy. Okay. As you can see, so you've got the washer in that side and the washer in that side. Bit tricky. Now when that's in, I want to clamp that into place by taking this section here, which is just going to go over the 2 lugs in the middle, just like this. There we go. That's going to hold that in there. You can see why I have this tab in the middle to actually stop it going any further than it needs to. And that's held in with some of these black screws. Now, these are labelled as number 1 screws. And they are going into metal, so I have put some oil on these. One there, and one on this side. Now I do have this detail left over, but that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 56, here's the magazine, looking just like this. And we're on the middle finger 8, a couple of internal details again that we're going to be putting in and extending onto this finger here. So now that is looking just like this, getting bigger. And this is the rest of the magazine. Obviously, putting the thumb aside, this is going to be the biggest finger that we're doing. And what we're going to want to do, take the finger again, I'm going to be putting this washer just into that side there. Then I'm going to take this internal structure again with the spindle. That's going to go through so it comes out the other side like that. Now, exactly like last time, we've got this brass plate to put in, and this time we've got a tab on this one, which is not only going to go into the hole just here, but we want to make sure that this sits on the outside of the section we got here, but we have got an elliptical hole, which we're going to need to put over that section like that. So there we go, that's locked into place there. I then get to put this bit we just created in, that's just going to go over this large section just here. What I'm going to do is put this in this way. It's going to be a bit tricky getting this in, I think, but it will go like that. And then once again, I can just rotate this round. So again, this overlaps the brass plate that we have here. Now, just like last time, I got this plate to put in. So the bigger lug is going into this side here with this spindle facing towards the inside. So that's on like that. In the hole, just at the top, we've got another washer to put in, and then we're going to be closing it off with just this section here. So this is going to be going in this way, line everything up, and push that into place like that, making sure that the other side of the finger's going through that hole. And I've got 2 of these silver screws to put in now. One just down the bottom here. Get that in nice and tight. And one just at the top. Now that's giving you an idea of how this finger looks. There's the articulation of that, as you can see. Now, to show you how big that is, next to my face, it's almost as big as my head. Obviously, international unit of measure, but that's how that's looking. That's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 57, here's the magazine, looking like this. We're now working on the middle finger 9, another bit of brass to put on, and a tab. So we're going to be putting this, and we're starting to plate over the top of all this internal structure here. So that's looking like this. And that's the magazine. Smaller parts in this one. And what I'm going to do as we start to build this up, I'm going to be taking this brass section here, and this lug here is going to go into the first hole that we got here. So it's going to go in like that. Now I want to screw this in with one of these silver 02 screws, and I have plenty of these. And we want that in nice and tight, because once this is in, it's going to be a pain to get out again, because we're going to be putting a cover over that screw hole. Now this is what that cover looks like. Again, this is brass in itself, and it's just going to be a push in into that point just there. Very hard to get that out should you need to get that out, so do make sure you've done that tight enough. And that is all there is to do in that stage. In stage 58, here's the magazine. We're on the middle finger 10 now, more plating, going over the top pretty much exactly like we've just done, just with a different section of the finger. Another smaller box this time, so I'll just get all of these parts out. And once again, very similar, we have got a shaped sort of hole here for the lug, so it can only go one way to fit inside that section. So it's just a case of lining this up and pushing that into place like that. Again, take a silver screw. Now, even though we're going into plastic on here, I do still dip the tips in oil because they are very tight, and I think they are cutting a thread into the plastic as well. So it does make your life easier to get these tight. Because what you don't want is any wobble in this. Because once we've done that, again, we're going to be putting this section in. It's going to complete the pattern we got going down there. But it's going to be almost impossible to take that out again, should we need to do afterwards. But there we go. You can see what I mean about having lots of screws left over as well. But that's all there is to do in that stage. We're going to have the finished finger in this pack, definitely, or these 2 packs. Here's the next stage magazine. Once again, another plate to put on exactly the same way, with a part going here over the top. That's the rest of the magazine. And looking at the 2 stages that I have left, I think this actually finishes this finger off. So Once again, the shape of the hole dictates what way round it goes, but it actually goes this way round here. So just put this on, push it into place, get a screw, dip it in a bit of oil, make sure that's on as tight as I can possibly get it. And then we're just going to be pushing this little section into the point here, making sure it's the right way round. There we go. That took a little bit of doing actually, and that, well, is that finger completed. So once again, this is what it looks like with me. All the articulation here as well. I'm not giving you the finger, I promise, but I will try and put this on the gauntlet to show you how that looks right at the end of this video. But we are now moving on, not to the next finger actually, but we will go on to the next stage. So this is stage 60. Here's the magazine. And as you can see, we're now doing the inner forearm. So we've got this massive plate here. This is where it's going to go, but we're not actually doing anything with it. It is showing us the current status of everything that we've done so far in the build though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pair this stage up with the next stage as well. So that's that magazine. And then if I take the last stage of the second pack, so we're doing 2 packs together here. This is stage 61. Here's the magazine. And this time we've got another part to add to the part from the previous stage just to put these together. So now that's looking just like that. And again, for the final time, this is the rest of the magazine. So these are stage 60 and 61. Let's get both of these open. And quite simply, all we're going to do is holding it like this. I'm just going to be putting all of these lugs into these holes just here. So it's going to go in like that. It has got a sort of bend on it, as you can see. Turn it over, and I'm going to have to put loads of these black screws into all of those holes. Now it's taking 5 screws. If you don't want blisters, you definitely want to use oil on this section. But I'm going to put the middle one in first. That will hold everything in place. Again, as tight as you can get it. Then I'll put the 2 in each side here. You know what? Even with oil, that could be hard work. But there we go. That's that plate finished. That's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in those 2 packs. So that's pretty much what we've done in the 2 packs. What I'm going to do, not supposed to do it yet, so I'm going to add this middle finger to the gauntlet. And hopefully that now gives you an idea of how that looks. That looks pretty cool, huh? Obviously it's not together properly, but you know, giving 2 fingers up to you now. But we've got to make a thumbnail of this, haven't we? So there you go. That's the thumbnail. Pretty cool, isn't it? Let's just leave that there for a second. Obviously, to light all these infinity crystals up, all we have to do is just push the buttons here. So you see they all light up here. And there's the time stone there as well. But let's get that so you can actually see that. I think we'll leave it like that. Now, once again, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description, and I've also put a QR code on the screen. I've got no idea where I'm going to store this. That's the next puzzle that I'm going to have to figure out. It's like Tetris in my house at the moment, but I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. And please, 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 if you know someone who might be interested in this video, share this video to those people. But other than that, take care.